are so excited to have you join us. SEDAT HR Conference is going to be a transformative experience. We'll have various speakers who will be sharing on various topics to ensure that we bridge the gap, creating a workplace where everyone feels heard, valued, and supported. See you at the conference hall.
My name is Patricia Abnakisi. I'm the CEO of SEDAT Consult Limited, the organizers of the SEDAT HR Conference. I'm so happy that we are having this conference, especially in Kumasi. And as SEDAT Consult as a company, we are committed to knowledge sharing, creating opportunity for networking, and ensuring that people in the HR profession advance in their careers. That is why we put together this conference, to give the opportunity to our HR practitioners to first of all learn about the new trends in the HR space, learn about how we can be innovative and creative in ensuring that we are impacting the organization. A lot of the times, HRs are seen as cost centers, but we want to change the narrative. And if we can do that, we need to be very creative. We need to also ensure that we are leveraging on technology to be able to impact or determine or demonstrate how we are contributing to the bottom line. In this dynamic landscape of human resources, we have gathered here together to explore the most pressing trends, challenges, and the opportunities. We know that HR has evolved, and we also know that technology has enabled us to evolve. And so if we don't embrace technology, it's going to be very difficult for us.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're watching us from. Welcome to today's episode of SEDAT HR Digest. Today, we are discussing a very interesting topic. We are looking at how we can use or leverage on AI to boost productivity in the workplace, and I'm super excited of the guests for this very episode. Wherever you're watching us from, we just want you to drop your name, your contact, or your location in the comment box. We want to especially welcome you to today's episode. We would also want you to share the link with your loved ones, your friends and your leaders. Let's all gather here together. Let's learn together. Like I always say, this is a platform where we learn, unlearn, and relearn. This is SEDAT HR Digest, and it is brought to us by SEDAT Consult, our number one HR firm. If you need any organization to give you a helping hand, to give you a shoulder when it comes to your HR activities, that I'm happy to introduce to you SEDAT Consult. You can reach us on 0244 629245, 0244 629245, or 05914 05555, 059 140 5555. That's a SEDAT HR Digest. Once again, we want to say you are very welcome to today's episode. We want to remind you of our conference that will be happening in Kumasi. Super conference. You don't want to take yourself out of the conference. It is a place where we are gathering. It is a place where we are bringing all the experts to come and help us understand how we can be strategic as HR practitioners and as business leaders. And so if you live in and around Kumasi, we want you to make your way to this conference. We will be displaying the details or the information in the comment section. Kindly click on it if you haven't registered. We have few seats available. Please register. If you want to sponsor the conference, it is never too late. Our doors are always open. You can call the contacts I just mentioned, 0244 629245 or 05914 05555. Within the course of the discussion, we'll be bringing you details of the conference. And so don't go anywhere. Just gather. Let's all gather here. Let's share knowledge. And as we always do, this is an interactive webinar. And so as the discussion is ongoing, we would love that you drop in your contribution as well. And if you want to ask any questions, seek clarification, please feel free, drop it in the comment section, and our guest is ready to help us understand. And today we would be giving more time for questions and so and contributions as well. And so please make yourself available, and whatever you also have in mind, feel free to share with us. This once again is SEDAT HR Digest. Like I mentioned, today we are looking at how to leverage on AI to boost productivity, and we are happy to introduce our guests to you, a known face on SEDAT's HR Digest, and he has been a very super resource person to us. So today we will be having this discussion with Mr. Jeffrey Boham. Jeffrey is a global learning and development, business, project management, and general human resource management and development professional. He is a consultant and a course facilitator. Jeffrey helps organizations and individuals to improve productivity and performance in the area of talent development, performance management, business, project management, and general human capital management and evaluation. And I think at this juncture, I can feel free to add AI to it because he's doing well in the artificial intelligence environment. And so we are honored today to have our guest, Mr. Jeffrey Boham, in the house. Jeff, if you are here, we would love to welcome you. As usual, we are always excited when we see you on the bill. And once again, we know that we're going to have a very good time with you. And so we want to take your opening remarks, and then we can go move on to our discussion for today.
Thank you very much. Do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much. I wouldn't say I have any major opening remarks, but I know we've consumed the bulk of our time, but there are some people who assured me that they were going to be online, so I want to kind of give a shout out to those people just to let them know. But before I do that, I want to give a shout out to you, because we all know that you have a major program going on. And in fact, that's one of the reasons why we started a bit late. She had to come all the way from church, just run around just to make this. So thank you so much for all the, I would say, effort you put in to make this program successful. And I want to thank my friends all the way in the country of Rwanda who are watching. We have people, we have folks like Papa Gael, Mama Gael, Gael herself, Benin. I mean, they get people watching. We also have, I have a colleague. She's called, I think, your HR girl. She's watching all the way. She told me she was going to watch, but I know Manchester City is playing, so she may not be watching. Her name is Madam Cynthia. I believe most people know her. I don't know if she's watching, but I definitely also want to recognize her. And those friends who told me they were going to watch, thank you very much for watching. My daughter said she may watch, so I want to also thank my daughter. But that is my opening set of remarks. Let's go ahead and get this started. Thank you very much.
Right, thank you very much, Jeff. Thanks for. You got my head so I was like, hey, Jeff. Right, but we do this together, and thank you so much for making time as well. I know you're a very busy man, and we have to drop you in. A shout out to all your people that are on the call. We are happy. I know I have one personal person amongst them, and so a special shout out to you. I don't want anybody to know that you are the one, but you know yourself. Thank you so much for joining us. And in that comment section, we have Josephine Aqua. Thank you, Josephine. Josephine said, great to have you, Jeff. And thank you. Irene Poku says, hello, Jeff. And I say,
oh, Irene, yeah. Irene she's the president of our high school group. So full salute.
Oh, wow.
Irene. She's based in the UK. She said she was going to watch me. Thank you very much, Irene.
Thank you very much, Irene, for joining. And I can promise you that you will enjoy the session that we're going to have with Jeff. Now, a quick one, and I know we've spent most of our time trying to settle and kickstart our conversation. But let's go into the discussion now. We want to look at how we can leverage on AI to boost productivity. And so in your view, how is AI currently transforming workplace productivity across industries?
Well, that is a very broad yet loaded question. I spend a lot of time just getting to understand this whole artificial intelligence and how it works. And I do a lot of readings around how it really supports a lot of industries. In general, I think AI is changing the way things work right now. AI has become the business of the day. If you're a finance person, you're a finance person who supports, or maybe you are an AI person who knows how to use AI to work in finance. So everybody's becoming an AI person. But in terms of the efficiencies, I would say we all know, I think almost all the researchers point to the fact that AI is actually, if you really understand the backend architecture of AI is making repetitive tasks much, much easier. It is saving a lot of time, and it's making people, all in all, I would say, work smarter, not just harder. In the past, being able to do the hardest work made you the most productive. But I think with this whole new AI era, it's that person who is able to utilize the AI tools to speed up, like document retrieval, create summaries and do things like that. People who know how to work with AI tools have become people who reduce the mundane tasks that they do. They get it done very quickly, and they spend a lot more time augmenting the quality and strategic outcomes of the work that they do. So AI is actually making people smarter and more efficient in their work and reducing the repetitive tasks, is what I would say. Madam Patience.
Hi, Jeff.
Hello.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. All right, so let me quickly go into the chat box. All right, so I have Nana Opoku there. Thank you, Nana, for joining us. Why, Jeff? Thanks so much for that. Now let's look at. Many people hear AI, and all they think about is automation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the moment they hear AI, they think it's automation and all the things that comes with automation and all that. In your view, beyond automation, what are the hidden ways AI enhances productivity?
Yeah, I think I agree with you that whenever you hear people speak about artificial intelligence, I think the main thing that they talk about is AI will replace us, AI is going to automate the job, so we don't want AI. But I think if you delve deeper and if you get your hands dirty and if you start using it on a daily basis, you realize it's actually not the case. Yes, automation definitely would be about 40%, because it's automating things that we do every day. Check emails, do this, do that. But do those things really augment productivity? Where, in my experience, again, people can have their own, positives when it comes to using AI. But in my experience and my research, where I found those hidden areas that I found AI to actually create benefits in the area of productivity is really in the area of ideation. And when I talk about ideation, what I mean is making the AI tool become like a generative AI tool become your thinking partner. So you do things like, I am planning to host a wedding. There are going to be 60 people in the wedding. Tell me what you think I'm going to do or I need to do in order to create a wow factor for my attendees. Tell me what you want to do. So it's that back and forth conversation that's the biggest plus. Also, when you want to do something, you can leverage AI to become more creative in your decision making. So AI builds capabilities in areas of creativity, in areas of I would say, research, in areas of planning and design. So whilst we think about automation and whilst we think about just plugging and playing and just getting things connected using tools to make things, like setting up rules and things, I think if we specialize in the use of actually leveraging AI to become more strategic and take advantage of the competitive intelligences that we hold in the market and things like that, that would bring so many advantages, much more than the automotive components of it. Because when it comes to automation, I would say most people can just do it, or you can buy chatbots and bots here and there, gems and things like that, that will be able to automate processes for you. And the people in robotics, I mean, they can all automate things, but there should always be humans in the loop. So you want to become that AI person that actually is on the creative side of AI. If I can say that, whilst we are automating those things, and those people whose work is going to be automated are the ones who stand the risk of likely having to be replaced. But when we talk about having to be replaced, it doesn't mean that AI is going to push you out completely. It just means that if you probably have to learn something new in terms of how you work with AI to be able to move from that repetitive area. If you, let's say, an admin assistant, to move from maybe that admin assistant role to become the social media marketing who uses a lot more creativity in the work that you do. So to answer your question directly, I would say automation is a part of things, it's a part of AI, because AI in general, automates repetitive tasks. So that's what people know. People also have this myth that AI is going to kick them out of their job. There's some truth to it. However, if we learn to work with AI in the area of creative ability, in the area of prompt engineering, in the area of AI governance and things like that, those new areas that are going to expand, if we position ourselves to be the key players, the first movers in those areas, I think AI is actually going to be more of a blessing, in that space than that automation that people think is all that AI is about. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you. And so
Comments too.
automation is only an aspect of AI. There's more to it. And like Jeff said, it is just a matter of tapping into the creative aspect of AI. And you can do a lot of things with it. So yes, automation is part, but you can dig deeper, you can go deeper, you can go higher. And so don't limit yourself to just automation. Be creative with it. Anything. And I love one thing Jeff said. He says that it is our thinking partner. And I personally use some of the tools. In fact, sometimes you have the concept, but or the idea, how to put flesh around it. You have a whole lot of things running through. All you need to do is to just prompt it rightly, and then the tool you are using will be able to help. I use a lot of Chat GPT, and I know a lot of people out there that also use it. But I know there are several tools that you can use when it comes to artificial intelligence. Now, Jeff, let's look at this. Personally, I have heard people talk about this very question I'm going to ask you. There's so much misconception about the use of artificial intelligence. I mean, people are even thinking that if you use AI, for those of us who are religious, they said if you use AI, I mean, it's demonic. There are a lot of misconception about it, but we believe that there are realities that puts or settles all these misconceptions that people have about artificial intelligence. Now let's look at some of the common misconceptions about artificial intelligence in the work setting, as a corporate environment. What do you think? Can you share with us some misconceptions about artificial intelligence?
It's interesting. I also speak to a lot of people in the AI space, and the misconceptions that I pick up, number one is that AI is going to lay people off. AI is going to kick us out of our jobs. There's some truth to it, because we are in a new era where AI has become the order of the day. So if you don't learn how to apply and use and work, just like when computers came, in the past we used to go to the library to borrow books and write papers and send our responses to schoolwork on sheets of paper, and then computers came and people had to learn how to use computers. Some people were like, oh, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, but eventually everybody came on board. It's going to be the same with artificial intelligence. So the misconception that AI is going to take our jobs away from us is a yes and no. The yes is that, yes, if you don't learn to work with AI, the chance of the possibility of AI replacing you with that person who learns to work with AI is almost 100%. However, AI is also opening up new avenues, like I would say AI governance folks. Who went to school to study AI governance? You get what I mean? They didn't even know AI was coming. So there are going to be so many jobs in that area. So if you're in HR, for example, and you want to kind of pivot and go to a different career, you can bring your HR knowledge and become a compliance expert who specializes in AI. And next thing you know, you're making way more money, you know. So that misconception that AI is going to take our jobs away is absolutely wrong. And it's the main misconception that we see. Instead of thinking that AI is going to take our jobs away, I think we should start thinking that AI is going to magnify who we are. And AI is going to augment our human creativity and our human potential. And that is how we have to position ourselves. So I just tackled the biggest misconception that I see and feel on a regular basis, that, you know, AI, people fear they're going to lose their jobs because of, no, it's actually going to open more avenues. And you know, I think with AI, and some people, I've also heard some people say that there have been some researches to say over dependence on, over reliance on AI makes your brain shrink. I mean, is AI going to take my MBA from me? AI is not going to take my MBA from me. AI is not going to take my other degrees from me. What AI is going to do is that it's going to force me to apply my knowledge acquired in a more creative way with an outcomes focused mindset to make sure that I produce the tangible outcomes that people are looking to pay money for. So AI is going to force me to be a critical thinker and to be somebody who focuses on application much more than theory. And I think that is where we need to understand that AI is going to bring kind of a complete and total mind shift versus just thinking AI is just going to take our jobs away. But that's the biggest misconception, if I may say, just based off of my own opinion.
It's the biggest misconception. Or I totally agree with you. And I love one thing Jeff said. Yes, is a misconception that, or the biggest misconception that AI is going to take our jobs away from us. But truth is that if you don't how to apply it and how to use it, it would actually push you out of the market. And as much as it's going to create opportunities for those who have leverage on it to learn and apply it, if you sit and have this misconception in your mind and you don't learn and you don't master how to use it, it is going to push you out. But the good thing is that once you make your mind to master it, you are still in business and you get more business to do. Or Jeff?
That's true.
Right. So going forward, please, AI is not going to take your job from you if you make up your mind to master and use it. It is rather going to magnify who we are and augment our work as practitioners and as business leaders. And that is super, 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 super. We'll take this last question. When we come back, we would continue with our discussion and we'll also give you the opportunity to also contribute to what we are discussing. Like we shared, please feel free to drop your name and location in the comment section. Feel free to contribute to the discussion. It is a very interactive session. It has always been interactive on our webinar. We want you to contribute to it. If you want to seek any clarity, feel free and put it in the comment session. And so quickly, we want to look at with a mindset or with this misconception that people have and how that Jeff had explained to us that is actually going to augment what we do or magnify who we are. I guess somebody is asking, what should I do? What are the skills that I need as an employee to be able to master the use of AI in order to maximize productivity? And so I'm going to go straight to Jeff to ask him, Jeff, what new skills or what skills should employees be developing to maximize the productivity benefits of AI?
This is a very, very important question, you know, because I know it's something that a lot of people would want to hear about. But my response would be still very broad because we work in different industries. Some people work in mining, some people work in finance, some people work in agriculture. So in broad terms, in broad terms, I would say that people should master the skill of thinking better. That's number one. They should master the generic skill of thinking better. They should master the generic skill of working smarter, and they should master the generic skill of measuring results. Those are the three areas that I want people to focus on. And when I talk about thinking better, what do I mean? Thinking better, I mean, when you think about the researches that we're seeing, the future jobs that are going to come, I think the most sought after skill is likely going to be human creativity. And when we talk about human creativity, we talk about things such as being able to creatively conceptualize what a future would look like. So, for example, that person who has been able to think through processes and strategies and have and looked at trends and has come to establish beyond a reasonable doubt that there's going to be a time in the next 5 years where things are going to be done in a different way, and that person creates an AI chatbot. Before the AI train gets there, that chatbot is ready and getting ready to be monetized. Okay, that person will make a lot of money. So it's that person that's able to think creatively beyond our times. So that creative skill is going to be very important. That's number one. You also want to build the ability to work smarter. When we talk about work smarter, if you look at the way we all work, we go to the office. I'm talking about corporate people for now. We go to the office and we spend the first 1 hour or so checking our emails and responding to emails. What if you create an AI chatbot that summarizes your emails for you in a day and say, these are the 5 things this person is looking for in their email? Want me to create a response for them? Or maybe you create that thing in such a way that your chatbot actually drafts a response and you just have to read and click send. So you cut those 4 hours into 15 minutes, okay? And you are able to work smarter so that you can save more time to give back to your thinking process, okay? And also, you want to set expectations, create accountability partners, and say, AI has not solved my problem if I don't see A, B, C happen on Wednesday. So if on Wednesday you see A and B happen, but C doesn't happen, you can say, I was 67% successful. So it is that kind of mindset supported by, I would say, automating workflow practices, okay? Automating workflow practices to save time, to make you more creative. Those are the skills that people need to be leaning into. And the good news for Africa and most people watching this is that it's not something you get only from the Harvards and the Yales and the big schools, the Stanfords and the rest. Because, Gemini is Gemini. If you subscribe, I subscribe to ChatGPT. I pay like $20 a month. And it gives me deep research. You don't even need to have all those you don't need to have all those paid subscriptions to get the type of quality data that a Harvard person who searches ChatGPT gets. So you want to be thinking along the lines of the opportunities that you have. Okay, they have ChatGPT. You also have a cell phone that has ChatGPT on it. Okay, so if they are creating apps, you can also go to somewhere where you can use their computer for some time, follow a sequence of steps, create the apps. So we have an advantage of being able to leapfrog, having to go to school for 8 years, 10 years to become that Stanford or to get that Stanford certificate. Okay, there are so many things that we can do, but it all starts with honing our creativity skills, creating automated workflows to help us work much, much smarter, okay, and holding ourselves and our colleagues accountable to ultimately deliver results. I think those are the 3 core skill areas that I think people really need to build capability in. Madam Patience.
Hi, Jeff. I'm here. Thank you so much. And that is very, 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 very valuable. We need to master our thinking better, the act of thinking. I mean, that is all there is. AI always like garbage in, garbage out. What you prompt it with, is what it would the feedback it will give you. And so you need to have your thinking right. And I always say that if you are not intelligent, you cannot use artificial intelligence, you cannot use AI. And so all the people making good use of AI, from me to you, I see you as an intelligent person, because you need to be able to skillfully prompt it to be able to get what you are looking for. So you need to master the act of thinking better, and your ability to work better is something that you also want to pay attention to. Smarter is something you want to pay attention to. Let's hone our creativity skills, and I think that it would be something that will really help us and augment our the use of artificial intelligence to boost productivity. We'll be going for a very short break, and when we are back, we will continue our conversation on how to leverage on artificial intelligence to boost productivity with our only guests. His one of our favorite guests, Jeffrey Boham, will be coming and to you right away after this break.
We are so excited to have you join us. SEDAT HR Conference is going to be a transformative experience. We'll have various speakers who will be sharing on various topics to ensure that we bridge the gap, creating a workplace where everyone feels heard, valued, and supported. See you at the conference hall.
All right, once again, welcome back to the show. This is SEDAT HR Digest, and we are talking or discussing how we can leverage on AI to boost productivity in the workplace. And we have a very special announcement for you. All too soon, we are in the month of the one and only conference that everybody is yearning to be, and that is a SEDAT HR conference happening on the 30th of October at Kumasi. It is a one-day conference where we are bringing together people with expertise in our area of discussion to help us talk about a very important topic in the working history or the working life of every leader, every HR person, and anybody that works with people. So hey, are you ready? It is everything that you need, and from our side, everything is ready for this engaging day of insight, learning, and connection. You cannot wait, or we cannot wait to host you on the 30th of October 2025 at the Golden Bean Hotel Kumasi. We have seats available, and so there's a link in that comment section. Please click on it to register if you haven't registered. Our doors are also open for sponsorship, and so wherever you are, if you are interested in sponsoring the program as an individual or as a company, as a group, our doors are always opened. And so please click on the link. We have super team out there. A team, they are right behind or right at the back door waiting for your call and your connection to give you all the information information you need in order to give us the support you want to give us. We are super ready for you, and this year promises to be an amazing conference. The first episode was super, second was super, and this year it is going to be super amazing. And so if you live in and around Kumasi, please make your way to the Golden Bean Hotel on the 30th of October 2025. The time is 8:30 a.m. and we will be closing at 4:30 p.m. Now, I know somebody will say, oh, what about those of us who are not around Kumasi? How do we join? Don't worry, you are sorted. We have a very good package and a plan for you. We thought about you when we were planning for this conference. And so if you want to join, for those who want to come in person, you are paying a cool 620 Ghana cedis. 620 Ghana cedi. And for those who want to join online, you are paying 520 Ghana cedi, 520 Ghana cedi. And this year, we are honored to have our keynote speaker to be the Vice President West African Sanvic, in the person of Mr. Salifu Nuhu. And I know he's going to come. I mean, he's already prepared. I mean, he's set, he's ready. All he's waiting for is the day to connect with you and to share nuggets with all of us. We are also blessed to have Meshach Ba, or Mr. Meshach Ba, the Director of Human Resources, Anglo Gold Ashanti Ghana Limited. He is also ready. All the speakers, in fact, they all told us they are ready. They are all waiting for the day. And so Meshach is ready to connect with you, ready to share with you. You want to click on the link to register, because this is a conference that you cannot take yourself out of it. It is a platform to learn, a platform to connect, and a platform to network. And so we'll have Meshach there. And for those of us in Accra and those of us who had the privilege to in this class, we are happy to have our lecturer also on the bill, a very good friend of every serious HR person. And this man is your friend, because he's a serious person and he connects with serious people, and we love him so much, and we are so excited to have him on the bill. He is a labor consultant and country director at WEHO Construction, and this is Senior Ejabin. Senior will be coming. He's ready, and we can't wait to receive him at the conference. And he equally cannot wait to connect with you. And we have our own Madame Emilia Osei. She is a certified HR consultant, a lecturer, and head of HR and admin at KCML. And she will also be there as one of the resource person. And hey, our host, our convener is our own Madam Patricia Abna Kisi. Please let me add the Abna to it, because I want to continue hosting. All right, Madam Patricia Abna Kisi is our host and convener for this conference. Listen, you cannot take yourself out of this conference. You just cannot take yourself out. It is a platform where we are meeting to discuss and share ideas on how, as HR professionals, we can leverage, or we can use sustainable, or we can align strategy with business success. This is HR for sustainable growth. Do you want to grow? Do you want to be in the boardroom? Do you want to be counted and called when they are calling people into the boardroom? That this is the conference you need to be, because for you to sustain your growth and for you to be able to align strategy with business success, there are certain key things that you need, and everything will be shared at this conference. And so please register. Let's meet together. All the team, all the way from Accra, will be joining you in Kumasi for this super and mega conference. And we can't wait to connect with all of you. We only meet online, and we cannot wait to connect with you in person. It is a SEDAT HR conference happening on the 30th of October 2025 at the Golden Bean Hotel in Kumasi, 8:30 a.m. All right, so the link is already in the comment section, and like we said, please drop your location and your name in the comments. We want to give you a big shout out, and then also if you want to contribute to our discussion, feel free to do that. And so before we want to go into the comments box to acknowledge some few people, and we will come back to continue our discussion with Jeff. So I have Richmond Pro. Oh, wow. I love the name Richmond Pro. Yeah, boy. And then Richmond says very important conversation. Thank you, Richmond. And then it says thank you very much, SEDAT Council. Thank you so much, Richmond. We are here. They have I wish I could pronounce this name. But please, thank you so much. Is it? I don't know whether the T is silence or but thank you, Family Music. And they said that thank you, Jeff, for your valuable contribution to society. Thank you on behalf of Jeff as well. We are grateful to have you here. Josephine says this, Josephine from Takrade. Thank you, Josephine. We are happy to have you here. And so we're going to bring Jeff right on to the studios, and we will continue our conversation with Jeff. Right. Hi, Jeff.
Hello. Do you see me?
Yes, I see you. I see you.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back, and we are happy to have you. And I know our time is really running, and so we will take two last questions and then give opportunity for our viewers to also answer. I pray that by the time we are done with the two questions, we will still have some time to engage them. Now let's look at this. In your view, where do you see AI deliver the quickest productivity gains?
Thank you, Madam Patience. What I would say, before I even get into responding, what I would say is, in fairness to those who had to wait almost 10 minutes for us to start before they got an opportunity to join. Maybe we extended a little bit, maybe by 10 or 15 minutes, because I think it's important to get the audience to also ask their questions and make it more interactive, But what was your question again? Sorry.
Right. So we are looking at, in your view, where do you see AI deliver the quickest productivity gains?
Well, I would say the answer to every question in life is it depends. Okay. It depends on the workflows of the organization. It depends on the volume of work they do. It depends on the skilled nature of, it depends on a number of factors, such as maybe the knowledge required to do the job, the volume of work involved, the repetitiveness of the tasks, and the creativity of the people who actually run those functions. So with that in mind, with that criteria in mind, if you look at roles such as customer service, roles such as, like customer service agents for airlines, customer service agents at the airport, okay, these guys get a massive number of phone calls per minute. They get a massive number of emails and chats per minute. One human being can only respond to one chat at a time, but a chatbot can respond to 500 at the same time. Doing that, So if you are getting that high volume of calls, and it's a repetitive set of questions that get asked all the time, and you can train AI tools, okay, on the low level repetitive ones that the chatbot can just pick a response from the SOP and send it to the people until it gets to the point where they need to escalate the case to a supervisor. That is when it can transfer it to a senior level customer service person. So in those spaces, when you look at the criteria that I talked about, perfectly, you're going to have, a quick set of results. That's one. If you look at, let's say, emergency rooms, okay, if the organization is smart enough to design a workflow process where when the ambulance is coming, okay, when the ambulance is bringing the person who's in an emergency to the hospital, if I'm sure they do it now, if they can transfer that person's data, you take the person's ID, you get the information, you transfer the data along with what they are dealing with to the hospital. So before the ambulance brings you in, the hospital exactly knows how the treatment plan they have for you. You come, they triage you within a matter of minutes, they take care of you, and then you go to a ward and your problem is solved. So when you look at, I think a lot of factors go into AI benefiting, organizations, but that is where the planning and creative skills also come in. So it's extremely important that we look at how to, again, like I said, how to work smarter, how to be more creative, and how to create processes that will give us opportunities to leverage the immense benefits that AI brings to the workplace. But all in all, if you want me to mention specific industries, I would say customer service, anything that is high volume, customer service, maybe in HR, like orientation or recruitment. Okay, you have to scan 1 million, I would say, applications. I mean, for even on LinkedIn, you apply for a job and you see 3,000 other people applied. Do you think one recruiter is going to be able to go through all 3,000 resumes over a period of time? But AI can do all that in 5 minutes and give you the top 3 candidates. So in such areas, with well-designed process flows, automated process flows, and with well-designed, critically thought-through approaches, the benefits that AI brings to organizations can be extremely maximized. But again, it depends on the architects behind the scenes. That is where the people who said AI is going to kick them out of their jobs, yes, if you don't want to work with AI, but you can shift to become a digital transformation person. Okay, those HR skills can still go there. Those business skills can still go there. You just need to add automated AI workflow processes. You need to learn the tools and things like that. And when all those come together, you become that person who leads that transformation. So AI is an interesting thing. It's just changing the world. And I think it's extremely, extremely important that we get the practice of just, doing something with it every day. So again, Madam Patience, what I would say from my opinion, I like to just share my opinions. Because I'm not coming here to just, repeat what research says. I can reference them. But in my opinion, based on what I'm seeing, I think it depends on a lot of factors. It depends on how we plan things, how we take our creative and critical skills to plan things, lay processes together, define how we're going to measure results, and put those plans to action using like agentic AI tools and things like that.
Right, thank you very much, Jeff. And once again, Jeff will say the answer to every question is it depends. And so there are a lot of things that, a lot of consideration, a lot of things that we can think about, but it depends on several factors. And so that you can have a lot of gains, but I think Jeff had mentioned just a few. I'm sure just a few of them that he's mentioned to us, and but then it's also like we said, this is a platform where we learn, relearn, and unlearn. Once we give you some, the idea is that you go back there, research, and add on, and come and share it with us again. And so, thank you very much, Jeff. And I really love the part where you said that yes, for the people in the customer service area or even in HR, you can channel that energy to a higher level in your profession to make you more strategic and more competitive, whilst you leave AI to take care of the routine tasks for you. And when Jeff mentioned that you get a job application, a job advert on LinkedIn, before you even apply, sometimes it tells you the number of people who have already applied. 100 people, over 100 people have applied. And for one recruiter to sit to review over 100 applications, like Jeff said, I don't think so. Definitely they would deploy the use of some of these things. And so thank you very much, Jeff. We have a question from Irene Poku. But before we come to Irene's question, let's take this last question. Then we can start the conversation with our viewers with Irene. Now let's look at, in everything that comes or you do, sometimes you get pushbacks. Okay, what are some of the barriers that you think business leaders, HR professionals, or organizations will be facing in their efforts to deploy AI to boost productivity?
I will tell you that I see this every day. It's all around us. And I think for leaders who have bought into the idea of applying AI in their workplaces and workspaces, it is very important that they look at these three buckets: people, processes, technology, and policies. Okay, put people in one bucket, maybe processes and technology in one bucket, and policies in another bucket. And let me explain that. When you talk about people, there are people who are AI averse. And imagine those people holding sensitive positions in your organization. Okay, the company wants to become an AI futuristic ready organization. But Auntie Amma and Uncle Thomas, who had their MBS in 1932, okay, and they don't want to play with AI anymore. Okay, they are like, this thing is so stressful, we don't want to deal with it. You know the things they will tell the people who report to them? I don't think this AI thing is going to work. It's not going to work. I don't believe in it, So you have to identify those people very quickly, and you have to justify the why to those people. Give them baseline AI activities. Let them see how AI is actually functional. Let them realize that even in their space, AI can help them. You want to start shifting people's minds to buying into HR and AI. I said HR, sorry, into buying into AI. Okay, so you have to justify why, and we have to do all that, I would say, in very simplistic language. When I don't understand something, sometimes I go to ChatGPT and say, explain this maybe technical concept to me the way you'd explain to a 5-year-old. And it will break it down. And I'll learn, I'll scaffold all the way to the top to understand what I really wanted to understand. So again, it comes back to creativity. That's on the human side, okay? That's on the people side. Now, when we talk about process and technology, some people deal with barriers because they may not have the technology tools. Okay, imagine a person who pays $200 for ChatGPT every month, and a person who pays nothing. When I started, I wasn't paying anything. There was a point where I would go and say, "You've exhausted your credit for the day." I want to ask a question, but it's like you're asking too many questions, young boy. Turn around. When I put in that, I started putting in a little more money. I realized that obviously they also have to feed their workers. So my responses were getting crispier, deeper, more detailed. So I think even when it comes to the people, and they kind of bounce off of each other, even when it comes to the people, you have to get the people to develop the mindset of putting their money where their mouths are. Unfortunately, let me be blunt. Unfortunately, with our folks in Africa, because I think we are not faced with that level of competition that the West, you see competition around you every day. And when you realize that the person who knows how to use a tool is getting promoted day 2, and you have been there for 15 years, the other person who came by and learned that tool got promoted, you will go to Coursera and buy a course, because you also want to become competitive. So let's learn to get on some of these programs. Let's learn to, even if it's unpaid webinars, let's dedicate our time to it. Let's learn these skills and things like that. So we want to shape that on the people side. Now, when it comes to the process and technology side, it's important for organizations to kind of map their workflow processes, okay, in such a way that it will work firmly, okay, and in smooth alignment with AI. Let's give an example of that. Let's say you have a hospital. You have a hospital that treats patients and have to give them, pacemakers. You give the patient a pacemaker and you let the patient go home. What if you have an AI that tracks and you leverage on connectivity and IoT, and you have an AI that tracks the patient's heartbeat? It goes all the way to the hospital. It reports every 15 minutes how the person's heart is beating. And anytime anything goes wrong, it triggers a nurse to call the patient and tell the patient to come in. Do you know how many lives it's going to save? But somebody has to design that back-end architecture. Do you know what I mean? So organizations that don't invest in AI automated workflows, organizations that don't position themselves to work in harmony and in tandem with AI, okay, will cause a barrier to themselves. I mean, if they say the bookstore or the library is 5 minutes away and you don't want to carve a path to the library, you won't benefit from the library, So that's the people and process side. And going back to Irene's question, which I guess we'll tackle later, it's important that we develop policy and governance structures, because there's always going to be a risk in that area, a risk of people's information getting leaked. Okay, so what do you do? Garbage in, garbage out. It's important that you make sure that the data that AI extracts its information from, that data is clean, and that whoever entered that data is known, and that there's human oversight over it, and that it aligns with governance policies over, like, departmental, organizational, government, governance structures and policies. So it's very important that we pay attention to the protection of data as well. Okay, that's why initially I talked about, we say AI is going to lose people, it's going to take people out of their jobs, but there's so many jobs that are being created now. Compliance officers with AI specialty. Who's getting ready for that? There are millions of jobs, AI governance, AI trainers. How many people will go pay $200 or $100 to go take a course to become an AI trainer when this Shatawale is in town? When the top musicians are in town, they can only spend $20 of that to go there and have a party and put it on social media for us to know. So it's time we start investing our energies and our time and our resources in some of these things. I think AI puts us in a very opportune position to leapfrog. I mean, some people are like 15 years ahead of us. Some countries may be 15, 20 years ahead of us. But with AI, we can jump almost maybe 5 years in 1 year, every 5 years in 1 year. So we'll catch up in maybe 4 years rather than, the 20 years that we're supposed to take. So let's look at some of these things. So it's people, processes and technology, and policies. Those are areas, but there could be other areas, but it's important that we just take a look at them and see how best we can tackle them. I hope I answered the question.
Yes. I mean, very, very, very insightful feedback to us. And so quickly, I want us to move to the comment section and then answer the questions and also touch on the comments that have come in. So Irene says, please comment on the downsides of AI in an organization where sensitive information is put out in uncontrolled environments. Example, patient info could end up being exposed to all hospital staff. Your take on this?
Okay, and Irene, that's my boss. She's the head of our high school group. So if I don't answer it well, she has a way to chase me.
Please take more dues from him. If he doesn't, when there's any contribution, he will pay double if he doesn't respond to you well.
Well, what it is I would say that when it comes to Irene's questions, it says, please comment on the downsides of AI in an organization where sensitive information, that is PHI, protected health information, okay? It's important that, remember we talk about AI. Basically, AI is just a machine and an algorithm. It leverages or pulls information, it retrieves information from the data that you feed it and the data that you train it with. So we have to, before we build any AI architecture, it is important that we do what? That we create a governance mechanism around it. And then we also want to bring humans in the loop. So, for example, the person who took the patient's information has to have their name stamped on it. That Irene was the person, when the patient got to the hospital, Irene was the person who triaged the patient and input the data, and she input everything correctly. That data should have secure wrappers around them so no other person can actually touch it. We know the steps it's going to take from point A to point B. The next person who's going to touch it is Jeffrey. Okay, it came safely to Jeffrey's point. Jeffrey added whatever the lab results that Jeffrey had to add to it, and it went safely. So we have to protect that information. And that is why before we even create any AI systems, we have to get in contact with our cybersecurity folks. We have to get in contact with our lawyers. We have to get in contact with what we are permitted to do and what we are not permitted to do. Because remember that people give us their information in the trust and confidence that will protect them well. So we have to be clear on those protections and how we are going to measure our results and outcomes in protecting their data. I mean, there was a time where my bank was hacked. My data wasn't. The bank wrote to me. They told me they were going to reach out to the credit. They sent a credit report and a whole lot of things to me. They said, we are sorry if we need to compensate you. But that is a way that you establish trust with the client who doesn't even know. I didn't even know it. So it is due diligence. It is important that before we embark on collecting people's personal health information, that we create a governance structure and a way to protect it before we even take it. And I think once we do that, the risk of people's information leaking across the hospital can be completely taken out. I mean, the hospitals do this, surgeons do this a lot. Before they take you into any surgery, they'll tell you, these are the pros and cons of the surgery I'm going to do. I'm going to do point A to point B to point C to point C. Would you like for me to go around this way or that way? Some surgeons will tell you. They'll tell you every action they are going to take and the risks involved. So you want to let the patient know that there is a risk that that data could be, broken into, hacked into, or something of that sort. But then you say, these are the things that we do to make sure your data is 100% secure. And over the past 15 years, we've only been hacked as a hospital once. And we fixed everything we learned from that, lessons learned. So we have to create a continuous cycle, I would say, of monitoring and evaluating to make sure that our systems are safe before we even start collecting people's data. So that'll be my response to Madam Irene's question. I know she says awareness of data protection is key. So it's important. And also, Amand, that's a lawyer. I believe that's lawyer Fisto in Rwanda. I see your question. That's like let's say I said I like the way you explained the utility of AI in our lifestyle. Absolutely. Thank you so much. But I also wanted to acknowledge you. I know that you are watching. Thank you very much. But I'm
Thank
patient.
you very much. Thank you, Jeff, and thank you all for joining all too soon. We have to end today's episode, and it's been a very interactive and insightful session with our resource person, Mr. Jeffrey Boham, aka Senior Ni.
Look at that. By the way, if we have any questions, I'm open to, if folks can stay and ask their questions, I'm open to share my expertise in those areas. And, if there are comments that people want to come off offline and just straight away answer them directly, that's fine too. I want the audience to be connected as we're wrapping up. I don't want somebody to leave thinking that they are questioning. So first and foremost, Madam Irene, did we answer your question properly? I know that I may get a call after this. You didn't say this. You had to say this. I'm like, yes, Your Honor. So I want to fix it before.
All right, so you can keep dropping your questions and your comments in the chat box. Even when we are offline, we will still have access to them. The production team needs to attend to a different event, and so we want to end our conversation for today here. But hey, you can always reach out to us on our social media handles. We are on LinkedIn, we are on YouTube, we are on Facebook, and so feel free to reach out to us, and we will get all your questions shared with Jeff. And he's very active on all our social media handles. I'm sure before we even sent to him, he would even have come to respond to you. And so please feel free and share it there. And let's learn together. Thank you very much, Jeff, for making time to join us. You have always been a very amazing resource person to us. We appreciate your time with us. And on behalf of the team, we say thank you. And to our viewers, what can we say? Thank you so much. Sundays are very busy. Everybody's preparing, wrapping up the day, trying to prepare for the next day. And so it is not a day that a lot of people would want to joke with, but we are very grateful to you for making time to join with us. Josephine said, is it possible, Jeff, could share his email address with us? Yes, please get in touch with SEDAT Consult. They will share the email address or his email address with you. Or Jeff, maybe you would want to share your social media handles with them so they can look for you directly.
Yeah, connect with me on LinkedIn. Jeffrey McBoham, and send me an email there. If we need to speak on the phone, I would send you my number, we'll talk, and then, whatever I can do to assist and whatever you can do to assist.
Right. Thank you very much, Jeff. And thank you all for joining. Have a lovely evening. We will be here next week with another amazing topic that you don't want to miss. And so, one more thing, right after the discussion, we'll share the link with you. Please do well to share with your loved ones and let them also take part and learn what we have learned today, especially for those who, for one way or the other, couldn't join us on the live show. The link will be available for them to always listen to. And so thank you and enjoy your evening. We'll see you again next week, Sunday, with another resource person and an amazing topic. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Madam Patience. You said they should share with their loved ones. What if they don't love those people? Should they not share with them?
And from next week, we'll be having time with our conference speakers. So all from our resource, the keynote speaker and all the resource people, we will be meeting at the conference. We call it time with the time with conference speakers. And so please don't miss it. They will be giving us tips and some few summaries of what we should expect at the conference. And so you don't want to miss out. Let's meet and gather here next week, Sunday.
Thank you very much.
Thank you and have a good evening. Bye.
All right. Bye. Adios.
We are so excited to have you join us. SEDAT HR Conference is going to be a transformative experience. We'll have various speakers who will be sharing on various topics to ensure that we bridge the gap, creating a workplace where everyone feels heard, valued, and supported. See you at the conference hall. Thank you.